Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Neremik and welcome back to more The Great Sony Adventures. Last time we were arrested for a murder which we most definitely didn't commit, and we went through the general basics of being in a courtroom. But this time, since we are going forward with trying to prove that we didn't do it, we've got to face some witnesses. And hopefully you'll buckle down and enjoy, and if I sound a little off, it's because I'm dying of a cold. Check out the Animal Crossing video going up around the same time as this one if you want more in-depth reasoning as to why that is. But anyway, with that said, ouchie, right, witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations to the court. I have not figured out how these people sound at all. Okay, no sir. See, I'm used to the Japanese names of these people, so I'll have to get used to these. I can't remember what their names are, but I either can tell when they've been translated or when they haven't been, if that makes sense. Because I played the fan translation on 3DS. It was a pretty fun time there. Shout out to Scarlet Study for making that. Yes sir, the Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesunosa reporting for duty, sir. Korakusa, okay. That was changed too. Right. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles and quantity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon. And conducts my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Kroru Teta at your service. How many words do you think I mispronounced there? Place your bets now. Right. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table, the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take the tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post noon. Okay, so it was after lunchtime. Right, and not infrequently converse with the interested parties regarding the curios which I make my business. I can't understand a word that man's saying. Hello, Ryanosuke, so nice of you to join us. He's also an antique dealer. It sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. Okay, that's what it's called. Cafe place. Right, he seeks out potential customers who have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Well, it adds up. I see. Well, let's be honest. The sergeant looks more like a seller rather than a buyer. Okay. Right, now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner and can only be described as an act of war, sir. I can already tell the state I'm in is going to make for some, child. Right, it was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Plot details? So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the very start of this. Bang. Right, now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. Here we go. You'll state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Alright, come on, Mr. Nosa. How far did you stick your Nosa into this thing? Alright, unsavory memories of an Arabic... words. Janet Sue, I don't understand what this is. I'm a young child who was not born in this time period. Why can't they all speak in British street terms? Right, I was investigating a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, bang! A firearm was discharged. Okay, that synced up as though they knew what was coming. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. I don't even know what half that sentence means. And from the back, the cloudy-like weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Okay, I've noticed a few things. I'm gonna stop narrating for a sec. They changed that testimony a lot. So they aren't specifically saying what he lost, which is quite interesting. Because I played the fan translation, which was literal. So it's interesting what they've changed. I mean, I think it was something called a Koban. I don't think that comes up as a major plot detail, but the fact they've changed that is pretty cool, right? Anyway, I gotta get back in character. Well, so you, Sergeant Nose, have actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir, affirmative, sir. That wicked university cat, sir. The cruel, unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, we knife? Okay, what times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true? What do you mean, is that really true? You're meant to be on my side. Well, yeah, so all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. Okay, flashback. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Okay, I can see why I gave him my voice now. Alright, then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. English-made gun? I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... is it a coincidence? Is it really? Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is! Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. I don't even know what that word is. Well, I do, but the character... Shh. Okay, do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these two witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. Sorry, I keep pressing Y by accident. I hope that doesn't become a running thing. Right, it's time to bring this despicable student's justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdicts of this trial. Yes! What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its rights to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachiminki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. How did you know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? Objection! Oh, Asugi! Okay, the defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Oh. Okay, Y. I'm about to remove my Y button. Right, Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. The key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witnesses are lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Just falls flat. Alright then. It's all or nothing. I'm taking a sip of my drink. Same with the Animal Crossing upload. Pint glasses truly are an innovation. Amazing. Anyway, I'm not going to read these out line by line. So, what I want to look at specifically, I wish it let me skip text by pressing A like they did on 3DS. But, right, at that precise moment the firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed Versi cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. So I think this is what we need to do. So present, we have a photo, and if you look right here, yeah, the bullet did not pass through the victim's body would be a cool one, or photograph of the victim, which if we want to examine. What you can see, very much he was turned around, so he would have had to been like here, but he can't be because there's bullet marks. So I think this is the right one. I wish these had like a little microphone built in so you could yell objection into them like you could on the 3DS, but missed opportunity, Nintendo. Just saying. Anyway, so since that is a thing, we just yes! Say yes. And considering the music stopped, I think we picked the right thing. Just a stunned silence through the court. Okay. Well, what are you pointing at, cadet? What's the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my moustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clearly inconsistency here. What nonsense. How can this print possibly tell us what we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I don't know what to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. Huh. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student in the Grand Courtroom. This is so frustrating. Okay, Sugi coming in again to save us. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? Okay, I'm gonna smash this wine button into atoms. Right, it's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here. With a sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant, he's no, sir. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own very military-grade eyes, sir. Yes! But no, that can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the prints. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind him. He pushed it back down again. Certainly. There's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious clear Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Ihazanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this Grand Court. Oh, shots fired, Kazuma. That warrants a sip of my definitely not hard alcohol. Yeah. Inconsistency, sir. Awarded. Oh, it's got like mini achievements. I wasn't told that when I bought the game. Hot damn. Right, there's been a complete turnabout in the middle of this trial. Just that one discrepancy. Okay, we're not even that far in, no? We've got room for more. So is this what being an ace attorney is all about? Okay, that was a screenshot. Oh, that is what an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the bits of attack. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshots interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, but what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hoekkoa Koban, there it is, it's resurfaced earlier, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoei treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, It was no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Ouchie's voice has been through like 12 different iterations. Hunting through around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. Interesting. You heard the gunshots, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was only concerned with finding my absconded highway treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day. Precious Owie Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. I'm not sure what you're talking about. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony in this court has been heard inconclusive. I'm stumbling so hard, I'm really sorry. Alright, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Just worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find the wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing the next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruto. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Uh-oh. Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Oh, why, bosun? You are going to be dust. Okay, is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Honor. Excellency, because we are in Japan. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signals to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something, someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nos family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. Are these all puns? I was seeing those straps were a sign of the sergeant being 2 straps before the nanny. Aido, T-Shun. Your father is about to call the enemy. What you learn, my boy? Okay, so he's just... was the child the murderer? Did the child see it all? Right, even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much myself I did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only 2 personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. So they're still clearly lying through their teeth. But I wonder why. Yes! Yes! Wait, that's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman, there was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Objection! If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime council? Okay. Indeed, at the table which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As we can plainly see, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print. It would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anybody else. Oh, this does not make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. So there's going to be something there that's wrong. Surely. I don't understand. What's going on here? I'm not sure. It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. So it's a cover-up. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. Surely he must have seen her too, then. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time, after all. Why, Wilson? With the witnesses' testimonies we've just heard, we've no room for further doubts. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, a Tastic of Chi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honour. You're winning, Ryu. How could this be happening? The church is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. That thing seemed pretty conclusive. Right, the defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Tisk, it must be so unbending at times. You tell me. Well, here we go. Cross-examination. The true culprit. So, what should we press? What should we present? Actually, I'm going to check the evidence super quick. So, post-mortem report, 2 PM, that's fine. Bullet did not pass through body, also fine. So I don't think this is of particular interest. No, it shows him with a steak and a wine bottle. Might come back later though. Here, oh, we can't rotate evidence yet, can we? So, I swear there's like a little thing highlighted there. Oh, that is. So we can like, is that like a thing here? I swear there's text showing up, but I must be missing it. Or maybe I need to like highlight the whole thing. It doesn't seem relevant right now. And crime scene photograph. There's nothing here, so we need to press them into saying something that was incorrect. It's almost the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that statement. Right, yes, pointing is that for a man, it was that young lad in black. That's also fine. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed to be the only personnel present. He's probably just going to reiterate that if we press him on it, so it's going to be these last two. Indeed, the one who was the Englishman dining all by himself. We'll press that. Yes! So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? That I did. Forgive for the position I placed you in. So, the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. Now, that is pretty solid. As we can clearly see, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Okay. Interesting topic. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Pressing that very hard. Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember, you know, a lady person. And there was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Ah, the flashback doesn't show the steak. Oh, so one of them was eating it. It's so clever. Okay, perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruto, it's just not a case of these two witnesses were alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponents of this phantom lady. But I... If such one were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. Put them in a tight spot. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It's a blatant waste of this court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Huh. So, looping back round to Kazuma. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Ooh. What's the matter? God, find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this. No, 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 no! Listen, the first thing to do is to calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. So this is an introduction to pressing them then. Right, you can choose to either press or present against each of the witness's statements. If the witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with L. With a little work, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. So basically, press everything for more details, which kind of annoys me actually, because I don't know what I'm meant to press on. Like, normally it is relatively obvious, but right, yeah. So let's prove and we'll press about the mystery woman, and we'll go from there. Okay, it's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. That it does. And we are on 26 minutes. Okay, so this might be the last one. I might do one more. Right, it's almost the same thing. Yeah, we'll press them all. Yes. Why not? No, 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 it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't find that gun. We have a different opinion on that. The opinion of an uninformed uniformed, clever officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So, there you have it. Have what? T-shun! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? Ugh. And let's not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Karakura-san? Well, he says nothing, so maybe he might crack. Young man in black, that much I did see. Furthermore, we'll press him on this, because maybe Asugi was there. Right, there was a lady there. Yeah, Ayuchi's shutting us down. Right, you've been past points up time and time again. I feel like I'm going callous in my ear. And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there had been more people dining there at the time. And someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 PM when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Suddenly, 2 PM is neither here nor there in terms of time to wait. It's for me, 2 PM is dinner time. Like, earliest 1:30. Right, I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hot clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for a date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 PM. The very next day of the incident. So, the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. That explanation could be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it can be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for his medical report card to be submitted as evidence? Yes! Always, always add things to the court record. Unless you're in justice for all, in which case, do it anyway. Right, if I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. So they're just gonna add this to the thing. Do we need to explain ourselves? Because we're getting a little short on time now. I was not planning to do this, cross-examination for so long, so I'll kind of skim through this. Objection! Right, whether or not they're of concern is up to us to decide. You have right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Young Sashi days are forever sitting there. Rides! It's a most disturbing trend. You have to make 3 different voices, I'm so sorry. Right, officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Okay, there is detail here, I betcha. Right, what we need right now is new clues. Right, we have to explore things from a very possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. So he's going to introduce us to examining evidence, I bet. Right, you can aspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakoto-san. Huh. So, I believe, press R to present, and then, so, can we examine this? Oh, we can't. That's interesting, actually. Wait a business card, we can examine this. So can we, like, turn things around now? Or is Asugi going to do, that for us? Actually, right, furthermore, we were the only people present. So if we go through, what will, Asugi say is the first thing. It might prompt us to start investigating things. Right, excellent work, Rinosuke. Oh, okay, right, good, new dialogue. Right, we've gleaned some new information now. So I think this is going to unlock the final, thing we can do, which is good. I'm going to finish off my drink, too. Now, if I stand corrected... Right, let me see that medical report card you got before. Right, oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So, perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? So I think we can rotate things and inspect specific parts of them. So you notice some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. Those are the ones you may examine. That's what I've been trying to do. Press A and you can take a close look at the piece in question. Use R, the R stick, would have been more fitting. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, it does the same thing. Basically, you can just inspect evidence from multiple angles. It's quite useful. I think it was introduced in Apollo Justice, but here in this game it is used a lot, so keep an eye out. So if the crosshair starts to pulsate, it's something we can investigate, isn't it? Yeah, thought so. So, partner, I think you should take a close look at this medical report card. I think I should too, so... I've got to wait for this to end. Right, see if there isn't something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail. See, I don't like how scripted some actions are in this. I wish there was actually a switch where you could kind of disable, what's called, like, the tutorial-esque parts of this. It would be pretty neat. Anyways, I think there's a little bit of a tear here. Look at me being a speedrunner. And I think, if I stand corrected, this is the most recent one, so we investigate that. And, yeah, well, cutouts. Right, let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Trust me, I wish there was some for me right now. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. See, it's time to one's place. So it's something about eating. So let's see. No, that's not it. Is it right? Dining all by himself, or it's got to be dining all by himself, right? Damn you, Y button. But I think this medical report card could finally bring an end to this cross-examination. Yes. Thank God that was the right one. Well, I think, what are you wittering about, lad? I wish I could. But first and foremost, I'm the accused. Rinosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I can see quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. See, he's learning to be competent. Right, Kokuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Yeah, the Y button. Make it stop! Dear me, have you forgotten your words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You were not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words what you might understand. It was after 2 PM in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's... Remember, Inosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is really no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies this court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the crime. The desk slam makes it so much more serious. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hodder Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Kokuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 PM, the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that could not possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, just had all of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Which one do I do that for? Damn you, Capcom. Expertly done, partner. Oh, the objection theme kicking in. What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table. Objection! Use your head. That's a very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat? Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beefsteak? Court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. Are you sure you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, we have the answer to this question going to be pitiful. You know, Kazuma, I think you're having a stroke. This is the start of you turning this trial around, and my death. Show them what you're made of. And got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the 2 witnesses, or more realistically, an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it couldn't have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. Objection! You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person! Yes! There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We've strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Customer, that sounds like all the paperwork.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
We currently are. Don't worry, Counsel, I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied while giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury! And since it's murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit in a murder?
No! I can't do the scream. My voice has left me. Okay. The negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
That's right, as the man says. You just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us.
Oh. What? What did you just say, Karakuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman. Okay, for once it wasn't white, it was the court record. I'm not even sure how that happened. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection! What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you Pat?
Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order. Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well,
that's classified. So, you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn into silence by someone with considerable influence. I'd say you're right, Kazuma, but just who is that person with influence? Jesus Christ, I'm 43 minutes, how's my voice not giving out? No, but if you want to find out who that person with considerable influence is, you think I'm going to wait you make it until next time? No, there's actually a little bit of a hint to this earlier on. If you turn this card around and inspect the back. Right, well, that's expected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonoga. Well, yeah, business cards do tend to show the person's name, that's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job. Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonoga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence if they're wielding it somehow here. Well then, I think we've got our answer. Anyway, back to the main story. However, I don't believe Ouchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. You can only give the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. See why I waited until now? Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can confirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was who tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield this kind of power. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Okay, so probably should have done what I just did around now instead. But you know, I figured it out on my own, and that's what matters. Right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything, and make sure there's nothing we've missed. Thank you, Autosave. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all this? Oh, well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is, well, as I'm sure you've just come to realise, it's Satoru Hosonoga.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonoga-san. Hosonoga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! A possible reason would the waiter have to make witnesses give false testimony, not to mention the fact that the head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryunosuke, time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonoga-san's real identity has proven by this evidence. Oh, damn you, A button. X, there we are.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree, it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the fronts? Yeah, just turn the card around, do the thing when you have the yeah. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonoga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. But wait, his profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective. I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Oh? Who's saying hold it? Inspector Hosonoga! I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realised it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly, it's my guiding principle, but I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say, you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working at a restaurant, waiter? Ah, of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonoga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard this new information from the two witnesses beside you. And at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your profession and capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Absolutely, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the table was a young lady, whom I assumed to be an English woman. So, the truth comes out. Immediately I sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. Why, Wilson? Casting it into a supernova. It was then when I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say... Remove the English woman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the English woman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders, and so I followed them. But what if they were the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interests not to pursue that idea. Huh. The Empire views the friendly terms of this relationship with Britain more highly than anything else at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspects. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the discrepancy of the phantom woman in this case. But it's not right. Yamrianosuke, I think everybody knows that's not right. It's just a small hunch. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yumei University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young English woman. Hey? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table is a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yumei University's medical facility. Whoa, what is happening here? I forgot how she was even in this case. Right, I admit that under the rules of the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellencies to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, we've now discovered that this premise is false. It would be a discretion of our justice system to ignore the truth and give it a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency, they'll be missing the non-renewed deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Ugh. Inspector Hosonoga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort us to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it's my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. Prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself absolutely clear?
Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we'll have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. And with that, we got our first to be continued. Oh my god, I'm actually surprised I made it that long. It's been ages since I've done a 55-minute video. I am saving so damn hard. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I definitely did. With all that said, hope you've enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. But with all that said, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go down the entire bottle of throat lozenges. And thanks for watching, guys. My name's been Neremik, and peace out.